All right, hello everyone. Uh, Welcome to the fall semester and Sustainability in Society. I am going to be your instructor for the course this semester. My name is Dan Casper, and I'm really looking forward to meeting you and getting to know you a little better this semester and going over all this really what I think is very interesting and all applicable content. So hopefully you find get the same enjoyment out of the content that I do, but I want to post this video to help you get started in the course. If this is your first semester at Delaware Tech, or your first time using D2L or Brightspace, so D2L, when I refer to that, that is actually it's called the Learning Management System, but basically it's where all the course content is. So all of your courses at Del Tech are going to use D2L, sometimes referred to as Brightspace. Okay, so this is your D2L course. If you want to know how to get to this, you can go to, when you log into my DTCC and then log into your courses, and then go to your fall 2005 courses here, if you have a selection. And then here's your SOC 103 section 501. So you just click on that, and that'll bring up D2L. Okay, so it brings you to the course homepage. This is actually a good place to start because number one, I'm going to post announcements throughout the semester and you'll see those on this homepage. Okay, so here's your introductory announcement. Basically helps you get started with the course. Um, and then on the right-hand side, this is actually really helpful. This shows all of your assignments, right? So your due dates, and you can actually click on the assignment and it'll take you to that assignment. That's a really great way to navigate around. Another little pro tip, if you will, is if you want to get back to that home page at any time when you're in the course, all you have to do is click on this course name up here. It'll take you right back to the home page. Great tip, great way to sort of, keep your bearings if and as you need. And so note that in the announcement, there'll be sometimes be web links in here. So sometimes it's a course link like this, sometimes it's just an internet, whatever it is, but just keep in mind that there are sometimes links in there to help you, get a shortcut to wherever you need to go. Okay, so how do you get started? Well, you want to click on the content tab up here, and this brings you to all the course content. Um, And so you can see there's a getting started tab. So you want to click here and then just click on this tab, and this will help you get started um, on the course. Okay, so go through that, and then you are going to want to go through this, just kind of take a look at the course schedule, the course policies. Actually, let me get back to the course schedule. So this is actually a Google Doc that's integrated into this page. All right, so you can see this. I just want to make one quick note that sometimes you don't see the whole thing, and you can slide this bar over and see there's sometimes some other notes there. But this is generally what you need to see, right? So this is pretty straightforward, I think. Week 1 through 15, and then the week, kind of follow from left to right. So the date, if there's anything due before class, and then due on Tuesday. This would basically be mostly your content. So you're expected to go through the content prior to class on Wednesday, and then we have an in-person class every Wednesday. And then this kind of tells you what we're doing in class here, and then you will almost always have an assignment or two due on Friday. Usually it's just a weekly question set that is based on the content that week. So it's pretty straightforward. We go over the content. You should go over it on your own time prior to class on Wednesday. Then in class, we kind of hit some of the highlights of the content. And then we usually do an in-class activity on Wednesday as well. I like to keep it a little interactive as much as possible. And then Friday, you'll have a question set based on that content. So the nice thing about these question sets is you can use course resources. I post the PowerPoints. You can use those. Sometimes there's recordings, but basically you have unlimited time before it's due at the end of the day, Friday, um, to answer the question. It's not meant to be sort of tricky or trip you up in any sort of way. It's just meant to help you review the key content for that week. Now, sometimes there are other things due, and if that's the case, I'll note it over here. there's a lot of ways to keep track. This course schedule is a good way to go back to the home page is a good way to keep track, but I also post announcements each week to kind of give you a heads up of what's going on that week. All right, so the schedule is really important. This is also a very important document, the course policies. I try to make it a little more user-friendly, and this is basically in a Q&A style. So you click on the answer here and expands the questions, right? So I'm not going to go through all that, but you'll be expected to go through that content um, before the end of the first week. The syllabus is here. If you're so inclined, you can click on that link. That gives you an overview of the basically what you should walk away with by the time you're done with the course. This is also a really helpful tab. Some great technology support resources. Delaware Tech offers just a plethora of resources for our students. We really try to help you as much as we can. So here's some tips on how to use D2L, especially helpful if you're new to it. Here's some technology requirements, basically like if you're using a computer, what is required to have. Any newer computer is going to be able to handle what we have to do in this class. This is great. Download centers. Delaware Tech offers a lot of free software available to Delaware Tech students, like Microsoft Office and some other things. This is a great site to help you learn some tips on how to sort of learn remotely. So this is actually a hybrid course, which means about half the content you complete on your own, and then we have class once a week. So you are going to need to do work on your own in this course, usually consisting of reading some readings, maybe watching some videos, and usually watching some summary videos. But this helps you with some tips on how to kind of make the most of your time when you're not in class. This is great. The virtual support center is awesome. Drop in help for a whole bunch of different things. I'm actually going to open this tab because there's so much here and I want to show you what it is. Um, Basically, if you have a question about anything at Delaware Tech, not just about this class, I mean, if you have a question about this class, you want to contact me, there's a discussion board, there's some other things. But anything at Delaware Tech, advising, admission, you have a question about your student bill, how to, career services if you're looking for a job or an internship, disability support, that's can be helpful if you have any kind of IEPs or anything. Libraries. So there's all this stuff here. Basically, if you have a question about anything at Delaware Tech, it's here. Um, there's also this mental health and emergency resources. Um, again, we try to help you as much as we can. So if we actually have a little uh, food pantry on each campus, if you need food support, it's all, anonymous. You just go grab something. Nobody asks any questions. If you're having trouble affording whatever in your life, this includes even things like if you're renting an apartment and you just need help. We do offer some emergency financial assistance. It's not guaranteed, but it's always worth asking. There's mental health resources, which, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of things go down. So anyway, just don't be shy about using these resources. We offer them to all students, and people need help, and so it's okay to ask for help. Um, you can always ask me too. I can help point you in the right direction to any of these resources. And then there's this technology support center, which if you're having trouble with email, logging in, file management, that sort of stuff. So great technology support resources um, offered to all Delaware Tech students. Okay, so the tab or folder that you'll spend almost all your time in this semester is this learning materials folder. And so there's a couple of things here. Number one, the main, the way this is designed is for you to go through it from top to bottom. You can see we go from week 1 through week 15 down here, so that's pretty easy to keep track. If it's week 1, which is the first week, obviously, you open that up and here's all your week 1 resources. And then you open up, here's your week 2 resources and so on. Pretty straightforward, it's all there. One thing I want to point out is that you see here these resources. It's all the course content is contained within D2L. You do not have to buy a book. I provide everything in D2L, so it's all self-contained content. And then here's your, there'll be a weekly question set at the end of each week. Okay, so that's the first thing to point out. Now, there's a lot of I try to keep things as contained as possible. So you can see here, I have a copy of the course schedule. Again, this is the learning materials folder at the top. Here's the course schedule. Same thing as I showed you before. I do provide all the PowerPoints. This is a Google Drive folder, so keep that updated as we go throughout the semester. Um, I do record lectures. Again, this is a hybrid course, so most of the course content you complete on your own, and then we sort of discuss some of the key points in class. But I provide copies of all the lectures. This is actually a YouTube channel with all of the course lectures. If you need assistance with anything in the class and it's something that you think, it's basically you don't feel like feel the need to just ask me without anybody else seeing the question. This is a really great way. You post to this discussion board, that way everybody can see it. Almost every time you have a question, someone else is going to have the same question. So I strongly suggest that you post that if at all possible, and that way others can benefit from your question and also help. Sometimes it's great, you can answer other people's questions if I don't get to it before they do so. This is another discussion board. This is totally optional, but I think it's a great way to keep a discussion going offline about anything you see related to sustainability. As you'll see as we go throughout the semester, sustainability is one of these things that it's everywhere. I mean, there's just so many, you know, articles and movies and whatever, YouTube videos and so forth about sustainability. So feel free to post, and then, we can have hopefully some discussions as we go throughout the semester. This is investigating sustainability, which is a document we will keep filling out this semester. This is where we do a lot of our in-class assignments. And so I'll give you topics, then you sort of do a little research and report like in a lot of our classes on Wednesdays. Um, okay, so with the week one course content, I'm not going to go over all this. What you need to do is go through all of this content prior to the end of the first week. So there are a couple of assignments due on Friday, including an orientation quiz, which you get unlimited attempts to complete, and only your highest score counts. And the goal of this is to make sure that you see the key points in terms of the course schedule, the course organization, the course policies, grading policies, etc. Okay. So instead of me going over that, I'm going to have you pick through and make sure you pick out the key points. There's also a discussion board here for you to introduce yourself a little more fully than you will in class, and there'll be some interaction on that discussion board as well. And then there are a few really quick assignments like enabling notifications and subscribing to discussion boards and so forth. All right, so all of that is due on Friday at the end of the first week. So this will be August 29th this year. And so you can do that whenever you get a chance, but you need to do it prior to Friday. Two other things actually I want to point out is that there's another assignment here that's due before class on Wednesday. And this is just a pre-course survey. It's not graded, um, but you need to fill it out. And just by filling out all of these answers, you get full credit. So there's something like 10 questions on here. And this is just to help me like sort of get a baseline of your understanding of your sustainability knowledge that you're kind of walking into the class with. Um, don't feel any pressure to answer correctly. I don't want you to look anything up. I want you to just answer from what you know. Again, this is not graded. It doesn't matter your quote unquote score. As long as you complete all these questions, you get full credit. And this is a part of your grade. I think it's worth 1% of your grade. Okay, so make sure you fill that out. It shouldn't take you more than, 10, 15 minutes tops. All right. The other thing I want to point out, because this is potentially really helpful, is I did provide a week one checklist. So this is a Google Doc, but it's integrated into the page. Um, and as you can see, it just sort of breaks down by the end of the day, Tuesday, class time Wednesday, end of the week, and so forth. Okay. Um, and so you can actually download this. So this is a sort of read-only copy, but if you go to File and then click Download, you can download this as a Microsoft Word document, and then you can print it out. You could upload it to your own Google Drive and then keep track of it, whatever. Once you download it, it's yours to do with whatever you want. Okay, so hopefully that helps you. I know there's probably a lot going on for you this week, and there's all kinds of going over course policies and expectations and assignments and whatever. So this hopefully helps you stay on track. In addition to the schedule and the homepage, right? So there's really no reason for you not to know what to get done this first week. Um, okay, so that's the basic course organization, and hopefully will help you get started this first week. And the last couple of things, I just want to quickly mention, the average week in this course is going to have the same flow as you hopefully saw and you will see on that course schedule. So each week you'll have some readings and videos, then that's your course content because remember you don't have to buy a book. And so you go over that prior to class. We discuss that in class. We do an in-class activity. Sometimes there's an exam in class, and then Friday you have questions. And then the next week you do the same content, review slash in-class activity, questions, and so on. Okay. And then toward the end of the semester, it changes up a little bit. You have a group project and a presentation, but generally speaking, that's what you should expect throughout the semester. Okay. All right, so hopefully that gives you a nice little heads up on how to get started in the class, give you a little overview of the class. We'll discuss this a little more when we meet in person. Um, but I want to reiterate, I'm really excited to go through this content with you. It's really, really important. I would propose to you now more than ever, considering what's going on with climate change and inequality and a whole bunch of other things. So no matter what you're studying here, no matter what you plan on doing in the future, uh, this is content that you're going to need to be concerned with. And the more you know, um, really the more positive difference you can make, and the better it is for us and society. Okay. All right. Well, if you have any questions, shoot me an email. I'm happy to help. And if nothing else, I will see you this coming Wednesday. All right. I hope your week gets off to a really good start.